waiting for this.
ゆらゆらと浮かぶの月の引力ででもハートのロケット空回りしてるずっとそばにいたいの止めないでメリーグラウンド甘い色を重ねてカラフルに包んであげるよ君を背負うキュン君を背負うなり出す君を背負うキュンこの手ぎゅっとつないで回り出すメリーゴーラウンド君にキュンってしちゃってカラフルに世界がそうなるのずっとそばにいたいの止めないでメリーゴーラウンド甘い色を重ねてカラフルに包んであげるよ君を背負うキュン君を背負うなり出す君を背負うキュンバリビーつない君を背負うキュン君を背負うなり出す君を背負うキュンバリビーつない君を背負うキュン君を背負うなり出す君を背負うキュン銀河を越えて君を探すの行ったり来たりピポパ私の恋の電波をねキャッチしてふわふわと漂う無限の宇宙でそのハートに今録音逃げられないでしょこの手ぎゅっとつないで回り出すメリーゴーラウンド君にキュンってしちゃってカラフルに世界がそうなる時空の馬車で君へ向かうの猛スピードでピポパ秘密のパスワードをね受信して
他
welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome. Oh my goodness, sorry. I know I was like, oh, let me welcome you, but I was like, wait. I want to eat a little snack beforehand, and I want to chug water, and so I hope you forgive me. The starting suit isn't just opening a billion applications, it's also me snacking. I hope you guys are doing super well. Happy hump day. I hope you made it very well onto your way of Wednesday. I know for some of you cubs you might be living in the future and it's like, Tippa, but it's Thursday. And I'm like, I didn't ask for technicalities. I'm just glad that you made. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway. But I hope your cubs is one thing has been treating you super well, or did. We're well into our way in the middle of the week, and with the middle of the week today, I have an exam, so everything I've been studying about, it's all coming down to our exam at 7 p.m. So right now, it is, drumroll, 3:39 p.m. So we're a little bit chatting out of the way and all that jazz. Maybe it'll be close to 4, and then with 4, how's math? 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll have 3 hours to study and go through this little PowerPoint together, and then we'll learn all about the knee. Okay. But before any of that. Any of it. I'm a Duck BT. Thank you so very much for the raid. Welcome on in. But in voice this time. Welcome. I won't lie. I did get to a little peek while I was taking a little snacky, and I'm like, Pommel Farm? What the hecky? Definitely my kind of game though. And it's a very cute, tickles like a idle farm simulator game to my impression. But it's also a Pomodoro timer, so it's like a super cute combination. And it's a game with a duck, and you're a duck? We love the connection. We love theming in this household. Well, welcome. Thank you so very much for the raid, and welcome, raiders. My name is Tipanya. I'm a bearcat VTuber. I do the gal nya, and it's very nice to meet you. Welcome. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna try it out. Starts purchasing the game live on stream. Tippa buys game. No, but I actually never really got into like idle games before. Not idle. Gosh, what's the difference between idle, like someone I fawn over, and idle, like I'm lazing around? AFK games. I've never had one of those, so it'll be super exciting. But thank you, I appreciate the recommendation. Let me give you a hacking, like a more updated shout out now. Ta-da! Welcome. Thank you so very much. As you see from the title and my excitement, normally we are doing Pomodoro streams, but today I'm just gonna politely regurgitate all the knowledge I know about the knee. Okay? Bleh, regurgitating. Bleh. And hopefully you guys come out learning something super cool about your body. Yeah. Anyway. With all that said, please feel free to stick around and learn fun knee facts, or lurk, or if you have to go, absolutely no hacking problem, because I don't know how long your stream was, but any length of stream definitely takes a little bit out of me. So please have a good one if you're gonna be resting as well. So big yeah, let me see my orders, my hellos, but in order. Some order. Anyway, hi Rebel, hi, let's go. Welcome. And Chang, Giga, hi, welcome. Thank you, so late. Thank you for joining the Discord a billion years ago. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hi Sunny, hi, so welcome. I'm sorry, Tips, but that Jad? I've never had a dad, as you can tell. That dad joke, we need to talk about it. We need to? Sunny, you can see your way out. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate ya. Hi Sunny, hi, welcome. I love puns. I love jokes. If I could make more anatomy jokes. Maybe in another life right now. And I don't really have that funny bone within me. But Okay. Sorry. I'm like, wait, cuz I can't get too distracted today. We have an exam. No. Wait, is that a gun emote to my head? How cruel. It's the same gun. my goodness. Anyway. Anyway. Binya, hi. Welcome. And what's good? Hi. Welcome from the raid. I appreciate ya. Welcome. Kanachino, hi. Welcome as well. Holy hecky. One moment. Let me give you a hacking shout out. Welcome. And the Rip Skip. Hold on. Another shout out. Da-dang. Rip, I hope you had an awesome girl dinner. I just had girl dinner myself, which was the snack, which was that last piece of cake from my birthday a week ago. At this point, it feels like it's only been well, I don't know, we won't get into technicalities, but I'm done. I'm finished. You inspired me to go get you know what I wanted to tell you though, but sorry, you inspired me to get some pineapples because I haven't had pineapples in so long. I love me some tropical fruit. But I was gonna ask you if you ever had Vienna sausages, which sounds really silly, but like the tiny ones in the can. Let me see if I can break out a picture. Oh, sorry, I was gonna look at a picture, but I got distracted. My classmates started messaging me, so I'm like, what? Huh? I forget he does a free response, so everyone's trying to like put their bets of like what the question's gonna be, and they're all putting really good ones, so I guess I should pay attention to it in a little bit. Hold on, Vienna sausages can. Da-da! It's like the small little. Do people consider this finger food? Hold on. Man, you can't just save a simple PNG nowadays. Da-dang, da-dang. What kind of cake? Nelly, hi! It was a funfetti cake, but it was like a small cake I'd got, like a small group of friends. I also have another cake in the fridge, like a small slice from family, so the battle's never over. Anyway, cocktail wieners? Oh, is that what they are? Yeah, I only know them as Vienna sausages. So I wanted to see if Rip had some during stream, or if she has them in Vienna. You know, like the name could be in there, but it doesn't have to be like in the actual country. I feel bad for anyone coming into a steady stream. How can I blend this in? Oh yeah. Anyway. Oh my goodness, snack is important. Funfetti cake, pretty tasty. Caleb, hi, welcome as well. Welcome. Let me give you a shout out. Caleb says, imagine that I wrote a really witty pun with the word genuine there. Thanks. Oh, yeah, no problem. No, I'm so sorry. That was such a stretch. Yeah, no problem, Jen. No problem. I'm gonna cringe myself to death before this exam. I hope that's okay, Cups. Hi, Julie. Hi. Welcome as well. Hello. Let me give you a shout out as well. Welcome. Oh my goodness. Tipanya shall fix my knee with knowledge? Let's go! Give me 2 years and I can fix your knee. Right now I'm getting at like the bones. I'm getting at the bones and the ligaments and ways that you could hurt your knee. Da-dang. Sorry, my classmates are honestly being hilarious at the moment. Anyway, Lauren says I already know a lot about this stuff. Why? What is your expertise? I would love to know it. You could teach me so I can learn by the time for my exam. Okay. Nelly, hi, officially though. I like responded to him like, wait. A shout out for you, but thank you for joining. Welcome. Bleh. Why bleh? Or bleg? Why all the guns? Please, I'm only a bearcat who can say one bad word thanks to Loen. Hack. WebP files, the bane of my existence? Gallo, you're so right. WebP files are also the banes of my... Bane? Singular? of my existence as well. Not a big fan. I had to install like I use Chrome. I know some people may boo, some people may cheer. I'm not really quite sure, but I had to install a plugin to make sure like I have to right click and like put the option as save as PNG. But I keep forgetting I have this extension, so every time I save an image, I'm just like very disappointed. I'm not really good with this 50/50 business, and most of the time they are just WebP files, and I'm like, ah. She's a natural. Thank you, Robo. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my voice for a moment. I apologize. I think I'm just digesting that cake, so bleh. Lauren says I already know a bit of this stuff, so I'm gonna get going. Oh no. Okay. What if I could teach you something new, like Vienna sausages? That's okay. It's okay. You didn't know that? Oh. Sunny, what? You didn't know this? Sunny says, oh wow, I didn't know that internally my kneecap would look like the shape of a can. Thanks, Tip. No problem. Now let's put on our thinking glasses and look closer. It's not just any can, it's a Sunny join, alright? Hi, Shira. Hey, welcome. And thank you, Chewy, as well. I'm rooting for you for this exam. Thank you. Again, I'm not too worried. Not because I'm confident. I just like I said if I fail it, I'm not gonna like fail the course or anything, so I'm not too worried. Oh, you're copying the barfing knowledge? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me politely regurgitate again that knowledge for you and relive those sound effects again. Bleh. Thank you. Vienna sausages, you say? Fascinating. Ah, yes, quite. I do agree, Robo. Well, let's get into it because, gosh darn it, cuz we have a lot of work to do. Did you know this is a PowerPoint presentation not created by me? It's created by hold on. It's created by a upperclassman who taught my tutor, and it was very nice of them because this is the way they learned, by making PowerPoint presentations and presenting to their tutorees. Like how what is the name for people who are tutored? Either way, not a problem whatsoever. So we'll get through most of this. Some of it is a little wordy, but we'll try to do our best to get into it. Okay? Do you see why about my explanation? Yeah, because you said your mother learned this, but that doesn't explain why. If your mother knows this, that's not you though. You're not your mother. You're like half your mother. We can get into genetics if you want to. No, we gotta. Oh, Sunny, you remembered about the scholarship. The scholarship dream is dead. They literally said, hey, in this whole year you couldn't improve your grades. I'm sorry. And when I mean improve grades, by the way, you needed to keep up a 3.5 GPA. And if I had 4 classes and I got like all B's in that one, that means I would have a 3.0 GPA. And that's what kept happening. So it was very, very hard to achieve that A, but it was very good for that one semester though. So it's A-okay. Don't worry about it. I don't remember if they say I can never apply for it again or whatever, but it's okay, it's okay. Technically, with clinical rotations and whatnot, though I keep saying I have 2 more years, technically, I guess, how do you call it? It's more like a year and a half, because the later half of that final year is going to be me on actual full-time clinical rotation, so, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, don't be sorry. It's okay. Don't worry. And Sunny, are you on both accounts? I think Sunny is on both accounts because I did get spooked. I was like, huh? Huh? But how's there 2 different accounts? No, maybe it's a ghost because if I click it, nothing loads. Oh, actually, if I click anything, nothing loads. Oh, gosh. Oh, spooky. Anyway, that's fine. But no, don't worry about it. We're all good. Anyway, 3:52 on the clock. Let's go. Let's learn about the knee cup. So as you see, so the knee complex is actually quite simple. Will it show my cursor? Oh, it does. But is it a good cursor? Would you guys be able to see that, or should I get something bigger? I guess the hand kind of works, you know? I stream on multiple PCs upstairs and downstairs on my phone. Let's go! Surround sound knee knowledge. Let's go! Sorry, you just hear that screaming throughout like the house. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Anyway. So, the knee complex. The reason why it's complex is because it's made of several structures. So we have your tibial femoral joint, and your tibial is going to refer to your tibia. So here's where we are right now, Cubs. So this is your knee. This is your patella. So when you touch, like when you normally refer to your knee, you're referring to the patella. And the patella is really interesting because this bone is, I believe they call a sesamoid bone. And this bone moves. This thing has no structure in the sense that it's attached to like another bone. It's only connected by these ligaments. So if you really wanted to, but it might gross you out, you can wiggle your patella. You can wiggle your knee. And that kind of goes apart to maybe some of the stuff on the next slide, where if you manipulate your patella or really any bone in your body in a certain way, and you mess with the, I guess you could say, biomechanics or arthrokinematics of it, you can help improve certain component motions. So I believe if I were to skillfully do a superior glide to your patella to bring your patella up, I would help encourage knee extension. And that's to say if you were having even any problems with knee extension in the first place. People can have problems in different ways of why they're not able to move their body. Maybe the person I may be working with is post-operation. They just had surgery, they're feeling really stiff, and we want to encourage some movement. So maybe I would help them by facilitating this movement to help improve their knee extension. Again, that goes on to a whole nother tangent, but your patella, kind of spooky. So that's that. Your thigh bone is referred to as your femur, and the two bones right underneath the patella, or quote-unquote your knee, is going to be your tibia and your fibula. Not tibula and fibula. No, tibia and fibula. I feel like a lot of people got messed up because oh gosh, I hope this doesn't date me. There was like a popular anatomy song kind of by Miley Cyrus when she was in that Disney TV show Hannah Montana. And I think it said like tibula fibula, and so people are like, oh yeah. No, that's not how you say it though. Tibia, fibula. So that's going to be your joint, the tibia right here onto the femoral. The patellofemoral, so we have patella right here, and then your femoral bone right here, and then the proximal tibial femoral joint. So this articulation right here, where the bone is touching, that's going to be referred to as the proximal. And if we have this word proximal, we must have the opposite somewhere. So we also have a distal, but distal is distant. It's further away, a little bit, much closer to the ankle than it is the knee, and we're kind of past the ankle, so we won't be referring to that anytime soon. So now that we got that all down, these are the three articulations, and all this again is going to encompass the knee joint. Biomechanics! Yay! So I apologize, there's really no pictures for this, and I think this is more lab related, so I almost want to skip it, but I feel like it would be pretty beneficial. I don't know, Cubs. Let me think about it, because I was thinking of getting super exquisite with it, and you Cubs are gonna be like, oh, Tippa, what do you mean? I'm like, I could clear my desk. Tries to get rid of all the piece hair. I have a structure of the model on me that I was going to try to use to like show you Cubs like, oh, this is this and this is that, but I don't know how beneficial that would be. Plus it's so heavy. And it's so long. No pictures, just use the can of sausages. Oh, you're so right. Plus it has the name of my school on it, so maybe not. Alright, but just know it's a very long bone model. So heavy. Tip along. During this time? Bear, you're gonna make me cry. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, Bear. Hi. Welcome. Speaking of long, gosh darn it. Ah! Here, give me one moment then. Wait, you're gonna go drown my fish and then eat soup? Okay, have fun. Don't kill your fish. Adequate amount of water, okay? Enjoy the soup as well, okay? Okay. Maybe we can do a picture. Hold on. Is Emma's paint still on this? Yes, it is, but it's layered a little weird. Aww. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's actually worth it to go through it, unfortunately. But it's basically before I BRB so I can get Tipalong on here. It's just biomechanics, so it's the idea of what motions are going to help improve knee extension. So earlier we were talking about the superior glide of the patella. Again, that little knee bone that we touch when we refer to our knees, and we were to bring that up in a superior manner, that's going to help facilitate knee extension just because of where the patella would normally go when you do knee extension. So if you were to kick your leg up, because I assume most of you for the most part cubs are probably sitting, if you were to kick your leg, it's in flexion right now, right? The knee at 90 degrees most likely. But if you were to kick your leg out, what happens is that the patella will rise up, and then when you go back to bring your knee down, the patella is going to go down with the flexion. And you can even feel that on yourself. If you put a finger on your patella and you were to go up, you would feel it slightly go up and then go down when you flex. All this gets a little bit too structural, and maybe we'll come back to it later. When I come back though, we'll talk about the patella movement though, okay? Okay. BRB! Oh, sorry for the void of silence. I'm back, and I'm back with Tipalong. I'm so sorry green screen leaves, but it truly is what it is on this heck of an herb. Hi Wardo, hi! Welcome! Oh my goodness. Thank you for the Tipalong reading, by the way. But I'm telling you, the structure that I have, the model is so long. So long. Oh, wrong one. There you go. Da-dang. Oh, maybe I'll have to make Tipalong. Hold on. There you go. So long. I feel like it's a little crazy to belong like this. Eh? Good luck on your exam tonight. Ah, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, look at her go. She's so long. It's so. We'll figure it out, Cubs. I feel like she's really like I'm already blocking chat, but she's really blocking chat. Sorry to belong. All right. So the patella, I don't think this is the best photo. Ah, it truly is what it is. Okay, so how I was just mentioning about the patella moving with the flexion and extension, there's certain degrees that we should know for key movement. So, super easy to remember. I pinky bear promise, yeah. The neck is where she stores the brain? Why? You think my brain is like cylindrical? I've evolved now, Caleb. When we get Tipalonger and Tipalongus, when long, longer, and longest, the potato chain in Japan sponsors me. Please! Huh? Tiplong could be all those? It's true. It's true. With small adjustments, we can do it. You know, actually... Oh gosh. Okay, hold on. Will this kill my computer? Find out now. There you go. Tip long, longer, and longest. Okay? Okay. Okay, so the patella, okay? The patella. So when you're at about 20 degrees knee flexion, so maybe it's worth getting the MS Paint out for this one. Alright. I don't know what MS Paint this is reading, but it's not reading the one I wanted to read. Okay, are you there? Okay, cool, perfect. Alright, so this is let's say you're chilling, cause you know you're a cub, right? And you're kicked back, relaxed, and you have your leggies up, right? When you have your leggies up like this, straight, pretty much like this is about 0 degrees of flexion or extension. And for normal human beings, or I guess cubs too, you might have like a slight flexion about maybe 0 to 5, or a slight hyperextension. Hyperextension in this case is like if your knees go slightly in, you know? So as we're like, hey, I'm tired of sitting, and you want to get slowly back up from 0, they're saying that they want your starting point to be about 20 degrees. So let's say you're sitting at the edge of a table and your leg was straight, but now you're going to bring it to maybe about, you're gonna bend your knee too, I guess, apparently. Oh, but is that really 20 degrees? There you go, probably. So this is about 20 degrees, right? And so what happens with 20 degrees is that your patella is starting to move down, because again, we said that when your leg is extended, the patella, again, our kneecap, our knee bone is going to be moving up. So when you're flexing, slowly but surely, the patella is going to be going down. The thing to note though, and the reason why this slide is very important, even though we haven't gotten fully through it, is just that there's different points of the patella that are going to contact, and that's just something to keep in mind. So let's politely put this away and actually get through the PowerPoint, and then come back and refer back to the MS Paint doodle if we necessarily have to, you know? The Tipalong universe. Kind of. They're so silly. I'll put them away after this slide. So For that 20 degrees that we just drew, the inferior aspect of the patella on both medial and lateral facets are going to be in contact with the femur. And again, our femur is that thigh bone. This image is... I'm so sorry. I can zoom in. Oh, maybe? Well, anyway. Just for the temporary zoom in. This is like the back of our patella, and so again, we have a lateral side, which makes sense, the more outer side. We have a medial side, and then we have an odd one. The odd one, this is a... Maybe I'm a little confused, because on my notes I was under the impression that the odd one is below the medial and lateral. Oh, I need to politely get some backup and notes on that one. Holy heck. Hi, Sir Booker. Hi, welcome. Huh? I hope you have a gal day too. Oh no! Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. Same to you as well. Thank you. Here, let me give you a whole hecking shout out, and then life will be good. Ta-dang! Hi, Karma as well. Hi, welcome. Yeah, long tips. I'm gonna make them my friends and name them Tip Top and Timid. Oh no, the variations! Panic! Oh no, that sounds good to me. Good question. Oh no. Hi, Sup as well. Hi, welcome. The bee's knees, please. You know, honestly, not gonna lie to you, there's a place that I like, and they offer this drink called the bee's knees, and it's so tasty. It's not alcoholic. It has honey in it. That's all I got. I want to try to replicate the recipe at home if I can. One day if I do cooking streams, I'll be like, ooh, make drinks with me. You want to see something I was working on? Yeah. You can link it over. I can pop it up. And... oh, in the meanwhile, basically, yeah, so 20 degrees, you're going to be in contact with both the medial and lateral facets. And it's going to be the inferior aspect of the patella that's going to be in contact, but gosh darn it, I'm so fixated on this because I'm so annoyed. Patella movement. I just don't like this picture. I like this picture. Alright, let's open up MS Paint really quick again. Oh, this picture's tiny. Okay, hold on. Okay. So, this is the knee flex at 20. Whatever doodle I was trying to do, this is what I was trying to say. And the inferior aspect of it, so let's switch it over to maybe kind of highlighter? Yeah. So the inferior aspect of the patella is going to be contacting it, but both the medial and lateral side are going to be contacting. And again, as you see, we're moving down to 90 degrees, so your legs are more like this. The patella is going to be contacting even more, and then when you get into even fuller flexion, anything past 90 degrees or higher, there's going to be more areas of contact, and that's going to be super important when we talk about later about surface area and having that contact, etc, etc. So let's put this away and we'll reiterate what was said. You love honey drinks, Dave? I was a honey hater, I'm not gonna lie to you, Cubs. I had this like honey candy when I was younger, and I'm just like, man, honey's gross. But then when I turned like forever 17, I'm just like, oh, whoa, honey and drinks and teas and coffee and fun wacky drinks. Mwah, chef kiss. Caleb's is actually something I never thought about. You know how sometimes the patella could be patella by partia? I wonder if that can cause increased long-term wear and tear in the joint. You know, honestly, patella messes up a lot of things if it gets hacked up. Let me look this up. I have like a vague assumption of it. Let me double check. Patella by partia. Congenital knee condition caused by failure of the patella to fuse. Oh no! It is really two patella! But it's so weird because maybe not in this picture. Hold on, Cubs. Let me show you the picture. This is what Caleb is referring to. It doesn't fuse with it apparently, but I mean it's still in one piece for the most part. You know, I'm really not sure. Okay, let's get. I want to be done with this slide. Okay, so the further you go down with flexion, at 45 degrees of knee flexion, now the middle patella is going to be contacting the femur with both the medial and lateral side. Even though we're getting deeper into this knee flexion, what happens is that the odd-facet is not what do you call it? It's still not touching. And Caleb, no, that wasn't aimed at you or any cup. I'm just mean because I'm like, gosh darn it, this is only slide 4. Ah! No, that's on me. Don't worry. You're good. Alright, but 90 degrees, we have the superior 1/3 of the patella, and that's gonna become the primary area of contact. But the odd facet is still spared. It's still going to be only the medial and lateral. But when you get beyond 90, as we saw in the image earlier with the 145, what's going to happen from there is that the odd facet is finally going to have contact and articulate. So, yay! Alright. So, gosh darn it. Oh, gosh darn it. These pictures right here. These are the good pictures. Why weren't they here earlier? Alright. Sorry, Tipalong. Alright. The reason why this was important is because we need to establish surface area and how the force is going to distribute, because when you have... Well, let's just read the slide. So the general rule is that the greater the surface area of contact, the better that the load distribution will be across that surface of the area. So, we don't really have much contact, as you see. We only have like... What? I don't even think it gave a fraction. I think it just said the inferior. Yeah. When we have our knee flexed to about 20 degrees, so this image all the way on the right that I'm kind of like circling kind of. For this one, this doesn't really have a lot of contact in comparison to where we see where the knee is flexed at 135. Now that's a lot of contact with the femur. So that plays a big part of how force is going to be distributed and other pathologies in the future, blah 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 blah. And so the following information is just letting you know that about 30 degrees, so this is 20, so just think about it a little bit more, 10 degrees more, the area of contact of your patella with its femur is only about 2 centimeters. But when you get to 90 degrees, that area is going to triple, and it's going to be about 6 centimeters of contact, which is going to be, again, very important with the force distribution and how much your knee has to pretty much bear. And then we can see our patella move as we go. Remember, the patella is going to move up when we go into knee extension, so that's why you see in this drawing right here. 20 degrees, the patella is going up, 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 up. And then when we go down, we'll have the opposite. The patella is going down, 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 down. And it'll keep going down the further we get into that knee flexion. So force distribution plays a little bit of a part. This slide and this information did confuse me, so we might take a moment here. And you might have to bear with me, okay? Okay. Also, let me clear my throat. And also, I'm sorry, Rip, to your family. I got you. I got you. I will save your family single-handedly. Dun dun dun. Wait, let me politely do this. And let me hydrate. One moment. Okay. Force distribution. So OKC stands for open kinetic chain versus our CKC, which is going to be closed kinetic chain. So open and closed, the only difference is that if the structure that you're trying to look at is fixated. So we have, what do you call it? We have, like, if our foot is kind of up in the air, dangling, that's open kinetic chain. But if we're trying to do an exercise, maybe like a squat, that's gonna be closed kinetic chain. So, ta-dang! Hi, Baz! Hi, welcome! You wanna go to You wanna go to Japan? You wanna plan a trip together? We can do it! I'll message you the details. A certain someone that you haven't met, who I've been dying for you to meet, wants me to go in April. You're more than welcome to join. And will I actually go in April? I actually don't know. Yeah, unless you want to go now, then you'll have to. Baz, okay, we planned the trip when my vacation's over. Let's see. Go in March? What's happening? Why in March? Rip, are you going again? Wait. It's when I go with the Australians? What? No, but I definitely have school then. And I feel like Japan is like a, how do you call it? You have to do it for a 2-week thing, you know? Gosh darn it. Baz, can we plan a simpler trip, like a week? You want to go somewhere starting the week of the 20th? I am more than happy to join me. We can go to if you come to Bearcat Mountain, we could go to California really cheap. Baycam says she can't house me, but we'll go visit her. I'll live on the streets of Cali. It'll be like this. It'll be like what do you call it? The true Los Angeles experience. Hi, Weave. Hi. Yeah, hello. Welcome. But yeah, no. Let me know. I am not opposed to it. Baz is very good company. Dice. So I'm willing to organize around your schedule if you're willing to, what do you call it, work around mine. Heck yeah, come to LA? Okay, bet. I don't know, I really want to do something. I know that sounds really dumb, even if it has to be like a staycation in Bearcat Mountain, I guess. I guess that's fine too. But I really want to go out somewhere that I wouldn't be normally able to do. Yep, that's an English sentence for you. Time for Tippa to do the penny challenge? Hey Cubs, today I'm here at Bearcat Mountain, and the challenge is with this one penny I'm having in my hand. Do the close zoom in, do the close zoom in, do the close zoom in. I'm gonna do my very, very best to see if I can travel across the world with this. Zoom in. 1 penny. Now I start asking people, would you like to buy? Would you like? I don't know how he starts off with. I think he normally starts off with a pen, but how does he say it? Would you like to trade this pen for a penny? And you just sell the pen. Penny drops in the drain. I do. Hi. Welcome. Hello again. Welcome. Yeah, no, but Baz, no, seriously, hold on. This is me making it official. Oh wait, hold on. Making it official. Let me know what date. Starbugger, also, congratulations on the stuff that you're working on. That whatever you're working on, I'm sure the person will be very pleased with the results. Cubs, my voice is dying. Let's get through this, please. I'm just kidding. There's no rush, really. But something for me? Well, for you? Oh, I understand. Either way, I think it's super cute. Good job on it. Ta-dang. Nice. Alright, so open kinetic chain again is exercises like maybe you're doing what is a good this sounds so dumb. What is a good open kinetic chain exercise? Single leg races, I guess. Definitely consider it. And then again, our good example for close chain is going to be doing squats. So with that in mind, open kinetic chain, when we do our knee extension, so again, our foot is not fixated, it's open kinetic chain, and our foot is coming up to do that knee extension, so we're straightening out our legs. The load is going to increase by the way of the quadricep pull, and our quadriceps, if you recall, are quad, so there's 4 muscles located on the front or the anterior side of our thigh, and what's going to happen is that load is going to increase because those quadriceps are pulling on, and what's going to happen is that the contact area is going to decrease, and that large distribution of force is going to only be through one focal area. So wait, why does the contact area decrease? Basically because of what we were talking about in the last 2 slides with the patella and how it's moving. Remember, when we move into knee extension, the patella is going to go up, and as it goes up, remember we said in about 30 degrees of flexion, sorry, 20 degrees of flexion, my bad, only the inferior aspect of the patella was touching, and because we don't have that large surface area, the load distribution, that one little focal point is basically going to be taking the brunt force of it by a lot. And oh my goodness. Close kinetic chain, so knee flexion. We're flexing your knee, but our foot is fixated somewhere. So maybe we're standing and then we decided to sit. Similar to a squat, I suppose. That load increase is going to be by the same way, by the pull of the quadriceps. And what's going to happen is that the contact area increases, and a large distribution of forces are going to be going throughout a larger surface area because a good chunk of the patella will be contacting, most likely at least at about 90 degrees, if not even a little bit more, depending on how much you flex. So that's basically it. But for exercises, so sometimes when someone has a knee problem, it really just depends. There's really no best exercise, and you want to work in the way of the patient's comfort. And some people have a preference of, oh, I could only do open kinetic chain, or oh, I can only do closed kinetic chain. Just do what works best for them, but if you do choose one, you have to work within a certain range of motion. So for open kinetic chain, like if we're doing our single leg raises, what's going to happen is that you can only work between the range of 90 to 45. So again, 90 right here, 45 somewhere in between, because this is 20, so maybe somewhere like around here. Ta-da! So 90 to 45, but in closed kinetic chain you only want to work from 0 to 45, so 0 with the leg being straight, and then again somewhere in this weird middle ground that's not really illustrated, so apologies. But yeah, something to keep in note or keep in mind. Huh? You can tell it's official because Tip has created a spreadsheet for it? I did! I really did! Let me plan your trips! Hold on. Say. I got really excited about trip planning. I don't know, there's just something really fun about it. I love fascinating of excuse me, my brain is dying. My voice is dying. My sentence structure is dying. I love fascinating about vacationing and, you know, experiencing new things. It's so nice, and then trying to put that into action, even funner, because then you get to choose all the things that you want to do and things that make you happy, and then you get to try all these neat food places, and that's like, wow, I feel so renewed. I understand why I work now. I work to make money so I can take these little vacations and treat myself. Yes. Anyway, I will now cough up my lungs and we'll talk about this really popular thing of patellofemoral pain syndrome. Dun dun dun. I promise I'm not sick. You know, it's horrifying. Everyone around me is getting sick. I'm like, no, I promise it's not me. I'm not getting sick. I feel like, what do you call it? I feel like, the cake has ruined me, basically. But anyway, patellofemoral pain syndrome, PFPS. So this is a very interesting thing because, we vaguely talked about it before with, I think, pronatatory syndrome. Syndrome is just a collection of symptoms. This is not really a diagnosis. This is too vague to be a diagnosis, basically. So there's multiple ways and multiple reasons of how someone can get PFPS, the patellofemoral pain syndrome. And that could be caused to poor tracking of the patella, because remember, the patella is not stuck on anything. It's only connected by ligaments. So if you're having poor tracking, that can definitely affect how you flex the knee or extend the knee. It can do a wide variety of wacky things. And maybe you have poor muscular balance. Maybe you have like really tight hamstrings because you sit on your booty all day. I definitely do. And because of that, you may have weak quads, so that kind of balance may throw you off and you might have some knee pain with that. You may have some poor muscular activation, so maybe when you're trying to walk or do anything involving the knee, maybe the muscles are just not activating the way that they're supposed to, or even enough, you know? Huh? Too big to be a diagnosis? Oh, thank you. Wait, sorry. No, it's too vague. Too vague. No, wait. Too vague. The captions? Heck you. Vague. Why does it keep captioning as vague? And okay, I'm not focused on that. It's fine. Hi, Simple. Hi. Welcome. You can also have poor kinetic chain positioning and functioning, which just really goes back into some of the biomechanic things that we didn't really get into. But that can also be a reason of why people are having this like anterior pain syndrome. But with that, we can have tissue-specific injury. So again, because we said the syndrome was too vague. Oh, thank goodness. And so with that, we can make it more specific by maybe identifying one of the reasons of why someone is experiencing this pain. Whether it's going to be muscle weakness, muscle tightness, joint edema or effusion, tendinitis, hypermobility, and hypomobility. Wait, Karma, yeah! Vague! Nah! Vague. Oh gosh, anyway. Weeb, yeah! Wait, Weeb, you didn't see the Tipalong model? Big Ham made it! It was like a cute surprise! Ta-da! I love Big Ham. And I pop it up every so often. But it's also a channel point reading for 30,000. I'm so sorry. I would make it cheaper. Maybe I have to like go back and like look at how to structure the Gao economy with channel points. But Simple, we're just talking about the knee, so don't mind us. Ta-da. Don't fret about it. My mother language is in English. Oh? Do you mind? You mind enlightening me with your language? Your native, your mother tongue? Yeah. Just curious. Dragon? Gosh darn it! Rip! Bring back your past life! I need you to teach me dragon! A roar to you too. Did you know roar means I love you in dinosaur? And dinosaurs are basically dragons, so it's like a slight accent, right? Anyway. With the kinetic chain, let's talk about that a little bit more. So, one of the ways that you can have a patellofemoral pain syndrome is if your kinetic chain is a little bit out of whack. So let's actually start from the top and work our way down, if that's okay with you, Cubs. I know this is like backwards. So what's gonna happen is that the structure might be a little bit off. So you might have coxa vara. Coxa is referring to the hips, vera is referring to the I think normal's 120. Oh gosh darn it. But it's gonna be anything less than 120 degrees, which is the normal angle of where your femoral head is, and the femoral head into the acetabulum. But if it's anything less, you end up with something called coxa vara. And with the coxa vara, you have this angulation of the femur or of your thigh, and with that, you end up with genu valgum. And genu valgum is also known as knock knees, or as some of you Cubs know, as I've joked around, it's like, oh yeah, like the anime girl knees, you know, like the and from there, what's gonna happen is that if this is this and this is that, then what's gonna happen is that if you have genu valgum, it's also gonna affect your ankle, and you're gonna end up with more ankle pronation. So what the heck is pronation again? So I know we talked a lot about it with the hand, where we're like, okay, supination is your palm up, pronation is your palm down. Well, ankle pronation is that if you put the bottom of your foot away from the midline of your body. So if you were like splaying, is that the right word? Splaying it out? The bottoms of the feet, yeah, go away from your midline, while supination or ankle supination is the opposite, where your ankles are going to, the bottom of your foot are going to face each other, or going to kind of scoop in looking at each other. and that is going to be your difference between ankle pronation and supination. So again, for ankle pronation, it's going to happen because you have genu valgum or the knock knees, and that is because your hip angle is much smaller than usual, hence the coxavera. Now you can have the opposite problem. Now you could have something called coxavalga, which is not illustrated in this photo, but what's going to happen is that it's going to be something greater than 120 degrees. And so with that, with the huge hip angle, you're going to end up something with a genu bear. Yeah, sorry, it's right here. I'm like trying to do it from memory. Genu verum. And with verum, what's gonna happen is that you don't end up with knock knees. You end up getting the opposite. You end up getting a bow-leggedness, which I'm not caught up with hollow life stuff by any means whatsoever, so I apologize. But I feel like Mume had said that she has a knock knees or something like that. Let's see. My hip angle goes 180. Should I go to the hospital? Oh, heck yeah, brother. Hi, Spooky. Hi. Welcome. Alright, let me see if I can find this medical condition, hollow life. Now I'm just curious. I remember seeing the thumbnail in like a clip or something. Oh no, it's a 4-minute clip. No! I'm just very curious. Oh no, she has knock knees apparently. Here, let me send you Cubs the link so I don't get too distracted. But if you're curious about what she has, but she's like, when I walk, my knees hit each other. So as you can see in the picture illustrated here, she has that genu valgum. So spooky, so spooky. She has the anime girl pose. I'm so sorry. It looks like they've been trying to fix it through kinesio tape. So it basically is trying to encourage the structure to go like the other way. So that's really neat, but I don't know how far that will really take her. So yay, connecting our stuff, learning into our hobbies. Wow, so cool, so amazing. Anyway, so big hip angle, you're gonna end up with bow-leggedness, so the opposite of the knock knee, and with that you're gonna end up with ankle supination, so like the bottoms of your feet are gonna be towards the midline of your body. Ways you can get into this position or things that are going to ruin the kinetic chain is that if you have a weak glute medius. So I know a lot of people joke around and go, haha, glute max, gluteus maximus, ha 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 ha. Yeah, that is a very popular muscle, but if you were to peel that muscle out or make it disappear, your gluteal muscles are like layers, and you have not quite a few, but like definitely like there's 3 layers deep of just gluteal muscles alone. And we have gluteus maximus, medius, and minimus. And your glute medius and the quads, what's gonna happen is that oh my goodness, why is this escaping me? I'm gonna cry. Your glute max helps you with abduction and something else. I don't want to confuse it for max. Oh, thank gosh. Okay, yes. It does help with abduction, and in some way can help with some hip flexion. But yeah, so if the hip is more adducted, that's most likely because of the weakness of the glute medius not doing its job of being that abductor that we want. And our quads are the ones that are going to help us with knee flexion and keeping the leg straight, but as you see, it's not able to do that right there. So that's going to be our weak muscles not being able to do that, while our tight muscles are pulling us into that action. So we have the hamstrings having that knee flexion, our gastrocs, which are keeping us in this like either supinated or pronated pose with the ankle, and your adductors, because as you see, the legs and the hips are very close together, or they're adducted versus abducted, that they're apart. So weak hip abductors and external rotators, you're gonna most likely end up with genu valgum, which again is right here in this picture of the knock knees. And with the adduction and IR, the femur, internal rotation, you're gonna end up with anterior knee pain, which is what PFPS, the patellofemoral pain syndrome, is basically all about, you know? Booty mats. Adding peeling and gluteus maximus to my bucket list? I mean, if you ever get the opportunity to go to Cadaver Lab, you can do it. Smile emoji. Don't peel back your gluteus maximus no matter how tempting it may be. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it on yourself. Do it on a individual who's no longer alive but has volunteered themselves before they died. Yeah, exactly, Karma. Good. Anyway, so that was kinetic chain. What about hypermobility? So what happens is that hypermobility of the knee joint can affect how the patella tracks, and you may end up with anterior knee pain. Don't fall asleep first at the summer party. Just don't have summer parties, friend. So easy, so simple. Oh, by the way, sorry, this is the bow-leggedness, as you can... This is not probably the best picture, but this is, excuse me, this is an indicator. So if this is our normal, this is our knock knees, here's our bow-leggedness. So there's kind of like a bowing, if you will, or like a separation of the legs. So hypermobility can cause genu valgum, and as we said, that's going to be our knock knees. And what's going to happen is that that's most likely going to be due to increased lateral mobility of the patella, and it's going to increase the Q angle, which is something we won't really get into, but just know that, unfortunately, just know it. Hypermobility, it can also be due to a small lateral femoral condyle, and it's just basically more biomechanics of how the knee moves. And patella alta is very interesting. So patella alta is basically saying that the patella, or little knee joint, the kneecap, is located a little bit higher than anticipated, and that's also going to affect it, most likely be through the means of hypermobility. The opposite of patella alta, I think, is like baja, which is when the patella is much lower than it has to be. Hypomobility as a cause for this. So what's going to happen with hypomobility is that you might have a tight lateral rectinaculum, which is just tissue on the lateral side, or like the outer side of your leg. You might have a tight IT band. Also more stuff on the lateral side, and we'll talk about IT band in a little bit, because I believe there's a whole thing called ITB syndrome that will have, like, at least I hope, a dedicated slide to. And with hypomobility as well, you might end up with tight quads. Both hyper and hypomobility of the patellofemoral joint can cause anterior knee pain because of an increased compression of the lateral aspect of the patellofemoral joint. So I don't think I can say it another way. I'm so sorry. Can we go back to the previous slide? Yeah. I just want to confirm if I'm bow-legged or my thighs are too. No, you're so good. This might not be the best photo, so let me see if I can show you another one. Then hold on. Bow-legged. Yes. We're like, hold on. Do I have MS Paint open still? Let me see if I can get you like a small collage of like photos. Like, it's definitely bow-leggedness. Oh my hecking goodness! Alright, that's going into the collage. That's... So... bow-leggedness is... I'm so sorry for the picture I'm gonna show you, Cubs. So bow-leggedness, as you see, can be either one of these. One is definitely not like... The one on the right is definitely a condition. Somehow, some way, you know? Oh my goodness, how horrifying. But yeah, this is bow-leggedness. Your legs kind of wobble out. Like that. Da-da! Or in this extreme case, da-da! I want to confirm. Oh wait, that's much clearer. Yeah. Again, I don't think the picture does it justice. And then obviously the knock knees, I'm pretty sure you cubs have seen. But there was a pretty decent one. Let me see. Knock knees. So you can have pictures like, oh my goodness gracious. Like this. where the knees are literally knocked together, and that's apparently what Mume has, and that's when she says she walks, her knees bump into each other. And this is definitely something a little bit more extreme, but not as scary. But you see? She just has like a one-sided knock knee, which is crazy. Imagine! Imagine! This is your thigh, and then like, this is the front of your foot. Holy moly. Anyway. Enough photos for today, I guess. Wait, really? She has that? Yeah, no, that's what I linked above. Now, did I watch the 4-minute clip? No, but did I see the thumbnail and I'm like, oh, that kind of looks like this. And she does mention it when I had politely looked, so alright. Let's see. So, how the heck do we rehab PFPS, especially when it's so hecking vague, you know what I mean? So really the main things that we want to do if anyone is experiencing anterior knee pain is that we want to reduce any swelling, because what happens is, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but swelling can impair some of the emotion, and in a more extreme way there can be something called edema, which again we'll talk about a little bit more, which is just like fluid swelling into the outside of the joint, and then we have like effusion where it's swelling inside the joint, and then how that can affect movement and blah 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 blah. So definitely want to reduce swelling. We definitely want to reduce pain, because when people get hurt, they're really afraid to move, because maybe the mechanism of injury of how they got hurt is that they fell, and they're like, yeah, if I move it's gonna hurt, or if I move it's gonna happen again. So just again giving them that kind of sense of control, like, oh no, you see, it's not that bad. Here, if it really hurts that much, we'll do everything that we can to do to reduce the pain, or maybe have you take some kind of like anti-inflammatory before proceeding. We definitely want to restore muscle control. We want to emphasize quadricep strengthening, because what's going to happen is that that's going to help us reduce some of that pain that we're having and have more control over that patella. We want to control the knee through the hip and the ankle and the foot, as we had that whole conversation about knock knees and bow-leggedness and how the whole kinetic chain can be affected. That's you right now, Baz. You have anterior knee pain? Give me a year and a half. I got you, okay? just be okay until then, okay? We want to enhance some of the soft tissue flexibility, and with that we can help improve soft tissue mobility to get those muscles moving, so we could do that. And what we also want to do is that we want to enhance proprioception and neuromuscular control. As sometimes, depending on how the condition is, maybe some people are too distracted by the swelling and pain, they kind of lose sight of where their knee is, but we want to encourage that, so when they're able to do things, they know where their knee is in space, which sounds really silly, but we can have this whole conversation about like neuromuscular stuff and why proprioception is important, blah 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 blah. And for those who are unaware of what proprioception is, it's just where you are in space. So if I were to close my eyes and I lift my arm up, or if I lift my arm up and I close my eyes, any order, I know that even though my visual system is quote unquote gone, I feel myself, or I feel my arm up or being held up. I don't have to look to confirm that. I can just feel that. Hey, don't use your knee until then? I'm sorry, you have to go into the wheelchair or use like some kind of assistive device. I'm sorry, Bass. Just use like a single crutch and walk around. Then the patients can like take like pity and be like, oh no, what happened to you? And your coworkers too. And they'll treat you nicer. I hope they're already treating you nice, but even nicer, they'll be like, oh no, Baz, what happened? Oh, my knee hurts. Oh. Hi, Mot, hi, welcome. Becca Haxia, welcome. We're talking about your favorite thing, the knee. Anyway, with that as well, number 9, we want to normalize gait. We want to make sure that they're able to walk correctly, because again, some of that pain or swelling may impair some of the ways that they walk. And it's a very unfortunate thing with the body is that if one thing goes, the other things kind of go. So like if my knee is hacked up, maybe my foot is the next thing to be hacked up, or my hip, because of the way I'm compensating of how I'm walking, because maybe I'm having some like knee pain. And really, the major thing is that, hey, pain shouldn't take control of your life forever. We really do want to work on that gradual progression back into activities, you know? I may like knees, but my knees don't like me. I'm sorry. It's okay. One day we'll all become cyborgs. We're gonna have robotic knees and then nothing will matter. Technically, I guess they already do that with knee surgery. Oh, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So what are some signs and symptoms that you may have patellofemoral pain syndrome? We did mention how vague. Oh, thank goodness, closed captioning. We did mention how vague the name could be, because there could be multiple things affecting it and creating that kind of syndrome. But really, your main things of how you know you're gonna have this is that you have anterior knee pain, which means you have pain in the front of your knee. And this one's really quirky. You have pain when sitting. Normally when people are off their knees or off their legs, they're like, oh, that feels so much better, and they kick their legs up and life is good, right? No, you have pain in your knee when you sit. And you also have pain when you are descending stairs, because I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, descending stairs is much easier than climbing stairs, but when you're descending stairs, think about it as like a single leg squat, basically. It's a lot to load on, you know? And then really, it's the idea that this is going to be a gradual onset of pain. This is not something that happens normally. This isn't traumatic. The example I know I used about pain was in a traumatic example, but for this one, this is just a gradual. It just kind of happens, unfortunately. Alright. Plaika! So, Plaika, I don't like this picture. Give me another picture. But Plaika is gonna be an excessive synovial fold that's not reabsorbed with developmental growth. So I'm gonna grab one really quick. I'm tall and big and my knees hate me. Cubs, it's okay. It's the year 2023. We're already like halfway there. It's time to make amends with your knees. Be friends with the knees. Be like, oh wow, I never knew I needed you. Wow. Alright, what is a picture I can share? I'm trying? That's all we can ask for. It's okay, it's okay. Daija booty. The other pictures aren't worth it. They look a little bit better, but the idea is still here. Alright. So what's interesting about Plaika is that it's gonna mimic patellofemoral meniscal problems, and we'll talk about the jelly donut of our knee in a little bit, aka the meniscus, in a great detail. But Plaika can also mimic that patellofemoral, so some of the stuff we were just talking about with the PFPS. Plaika that becomes thickened, it's going to become also fibrotic, which is going to make it very difficult to move. It's actually going to become a source of pain for some people. And what's going to happen is that these tissue changes are often initiated with trauma that potentially results in synovitis, which is an inflammation of the synovial membrane of the knee. And again, it's going to mimic other diagnoses such as meniscal tear. So Plaika is a little bit wonky because you won't really know. And the best way to test it is to rule out certain stuff. So, hey, this patient comes in with these certain symptoms and I'm debating between Plaika or meniscal tear. Well, there's a lot of stuff for a meniscal tear. And I could do all these cool special tests. And if everything comes out negative, then I can probably have a more confident assumption of being like, hey, maybe you have Plaika instead. With Plaika though, pain is often intermittent, so it kind of comes and goes. But it also increases with activity or function, so maybe you're squatting to, I don't know, pick up some dog poop, or squatting to clean your cat litter, or you're walking upstairs, or you're just doing your like 10-minute walk because of your mental health. That pain may increase the more you're functioning or doing something or as you're on it. Ta-dang. Oh, okay, so this is actually really interesting. So this is not really a condition. This is called the Ottawa knee rules. And the knee rules are, or the Ottawa knee rules are kind of funky. Not really, they're pretty straightforward, but this is kind of like the perfect storm, if you will say. And it's kind of like, oh, if you have these, you should do this. So the Ottawa knee rules helps determine if you need an x-ray. So this is really funny because my professor has, you know, he's a much older guy with a family, blah 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 blah. He's like, yeah, I was at my daughter's soccer game and I actually needed to use this on one of her friends who ended up getting hurt. She ended up falling and getting hurt during soccer, and the parents are like, oh, is she gonna be okay? And he tested this and he used these rules on her, and he was like, go to your doctor. Go get an x-ray. So if for whatever reason you get into this situation where you fall or someone else falls, remember these things comes. Remember, if a patient's reporting pain at the location of their knee and they have one of the following that are present, it's very, very, very highly recommended, maybe even required, to get some kind of x-ray to double check what this could be. So they have pain in their knee and or they're older than 55 years old. They also have a tenderness at the head of the fibula. So remember, the fibula is that lateral calf bone. Maybe they have some isolated tenderness to the patellas or our kneecap, the ones that we were talking about earlier. The inability to flex 90 degrees. So again, most of us cuffs are probably sitting and we have our legs at 90 degrees, you know, like a right angle. If they're unable to get there, might need an x-ray. And especially if they have the inability to weight bear immediately after the mechanism of injury, and or in the ER or any clinical office, like, you know, they fall and they get up and they're like, I can't put a lot of weight on this leg or it hurts. Yeah, you might want to go get imaging. Huh? You've been in radiology for 10 years and I never even heard of Ottawa rules? What? I thought this was popular. No! They just x-ray everyone? Listen, I don't blame them. Go get that money, honey. But maybe it just applies more for rehab. I don't really know. Huh. But yeah, basically, cubs, if you're suffering from this, go get an x-ray. Sorry. In addition, there's something else called the Pittsburgh knee rules, and it's more of a series of questions that may determine if you need some kind of radiograph. The Pittsburgh knee rules, though, I think is more straightforward and I think is cooler, and they're not really implementing this policy anymore, but still really good to know. Ottawa is definitely more dominant than the Pittsburgh. So for the Pittsburgh knee rules, really, you just have to ask, hey, did you have any blunt force or trauma to the knee? Like, did you fall? Did someone, like, I don't know, try to break your kneecaps with a baseball bat? Like, what were they doing? If they say no, well, guess what? There's no radiograph needed. Like, hello? You're good. But if they say yes, then you have to ask the following question. You have to ask their age. And so what happens is that if they're younger than the age of 12 and and they're older than the age of 50, then yes, a radiograph is needed. But if they're older than the age of 12 and younger than 50, then then a radiograph may not be needed to rule out a fracture. What are all these knee rules? No idea, to be honest. They just give this to me and I just digest it like a sponge. And sure, if your knee hurts, your doctor will most likely order an x-ray. Honestly, I don't blame them. I would, but sometimes x-rays are not really the way to go, depending on... This is okay because this is trying to determine a fracture, basically. But if it's something more, I don't know, x-rays might not be the way to go about it. But that's not my problem. Ta-da! My problem is the knee joint capsule. Let's go. So, the capsule of the knee has a... Oh goodness gracious, closed captioning, please don't fail me now. The capsule of the knee has a posterior invagination, which is where the cruciate ligaments are located. This results in the anterior cruciate ligament and posterior cruciate ligament being considered a paradox where they're both extracapsular structures, so they're outside of the knee capsule, but because of this like indentation, they're considered intra-articulate. I don't remember if I got an x-ray. They did take an MRI though. See? I mostly deal with ER doctors and they just x-ray and CT everything regardless. Listen, if anyone's coming to the emergency room, I would do the same thing too. When my friend got hit by a car, they're like, yeah, we're gonna x-ray you. And I think she was more in shock than anything. TLDR, my poor friend who I love and adore. Ryan, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry I'm sharing your story. But I'll never forget the day. So they were doing something for school, and what happens is that they had to do this little bit of commute, and so they were bike riding, and they they rode their bike through this like plaza, at like a supermarket plaza, and they're following the normal rules of the road, but someone had ran a stop sign and had hit her, and she's like, can you come pick me up? And she was like an hour away from me. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. So I remember getting off work and I'm like, I was working at 8th and Chick, and I'm like, hey guys, my best friend got hit by a car. And they're like, oh, is she okay? I don't really know. It's like, well, she got hit by a car. She's fine, right? Like, oh, no. She was on a bike and got hit by a car. Oh, yeah, you should probably go. They were not happy. At first they were like, actually, you can't just leave because we don't have anyone to cover you. And I'm like, guys, I don't know how to say that. This person's life is more important than my employment here, but okay. Oh my goodness. But yeah, they just x-rayed her too. I don't think she actually broke anything, but they did all the tests just to make sure she was good, thankfully. Pretty fair to x-ray someone after being hit by a car. True. I think they also did an MRI as well. I actually have to follow. You know, hold on, Cubs. I'm bothered. Hold on. This is a little bit more personal, unfortunately. So let me write it, and then I'll try to make it like as vague as possible. So they did some kind of scan on her, and they were mentioning something about something else, and it might have some relationship to do with her lymph nodes. And now that I know how to palpate for those now and get like a better feel for it, I'm kind of like, I just messaged her. I'm like, hey, next time we hang out, can I touch your lymph nodes? I just want to make sure you're good. Make sure you're healthy and safe, and there's no weird hard mass that's gonna kill you. Okay. Anyway, the knee joint capsule. So that being said, the ACL does have fibers that are going to blend into the joint capsule along the anterior medial aspect at its insertion at the tibia. So anterior cruciate ligament right here. They're going to have the fibers. It's going to, again, blend into the joint capsule. And it's going to be along the anterior medial aspect of its insertion onto the tibia. So this is the front of the tibia, anterior, medial, median middle, and ta-da! Effusion. So, effusion is something we talked about a little bit when we talked about the comment about swelling. And so effusion, the difference between edema and effusion is that effusion is going to be swelling within the joints. And so what's going to happen is that there might be some quadricep inhibition. So the quadriceps are not working the way that that they were previously. Unfortunately, it's really not in our ability to measure like let me just read the sentence again. I'm so sorry. The quadricep inhibition may be occurring prior to our ability to see or even measure the presence of effusion. The thing with effusion in rehab though is that there's really no way to measure it though. So we might be seeing the quadriceps not working and may not even be aware that effusion is present. So that's a really wacky thing. The notes talk about it a little bit more. I guess I don't really need to know about it. This is what the PowerPoint's saying, though. But basically, it's like it was giving like certain numbers, and they're like, oh, if they have this amount of fusion, then it might be just this one muscle, the vastus medialis, and if it's any more, it's the whole entire quadricep that gets affected. It's a little wonky, but again, as rehabilitation masters, we don't have anything to do with those numbers, so I don't know. I'm not sure how I'd react when someone texts me, can I touch your lymph nodes? Brother. There's a story. Wait, you touched your lymph nodes? I don't know why. I thought you had... What is this phobia? Hold on. I'm curious. Oh! An intense overwhelming fear of being touched. No, okay, so... Tipa Lord time. I've never had physical contact right now. No, I'm just kidding. I don't mind being touched. I think one of the stories I said made me feel made me probably come off like that is because we do a lot of like hands-on stuff when I'm at school, and I don't like being touched like that because a lot of people will like rub their nose or cough in their hand, and then they'll like touch my leg or my arm or my hand, and I'm like, so it's more germaphobe than maybe being touched. But I guess I also am not like a person who, like, if I see someone, I'm not like, oh my goodness, hug, hi, welcome, unless they're opening for a hug. Like if they're being like that, I'm like, oh, I will also open up mutually for a hug, but I'm normally like away first, like, oh, hey, how's it going, hey, how's life? Come on into my humble abode. Alright. Sorry. I need the meniscus! Okay, so the meniscus is kind of a hacker, I'm not gonna lie to you. So, definitely have to learn more about this for sure. But the meniscus is very interesting because we have a lateral meniscus and we have a medial meniscus. And, excuse me, one does get more affected than the other, but I'm obviously jumping the gun here. But jelly-filled donut lateral side, medial side. I can definitely see the medial side. It's pretty chunky. What's gonna happen is that the meniscus has various functions, which we'll talk about literally on the next slide. But just understand that I feel like I'm gonna spoil it. I feel like I should just go to here, but no, let's keep focusing on this. I'll just read off the PowerPoints. So ADLs is just an abbreviation for activities of daily living. So anything that you do, like brushing your teeth, getting out of bed, walking the dog, taking a shower, putting on clothes, buttoning this, yeah, all of those are activities of daily living. So while we're just standing minding our own hecking business, our jelly-filled donut center, or the meniscus, is 70% of that load. But when we're at full knee extension, and maybe like when we're standing, or maybe we have our legs up, only about 50% of that load will be taken on by the meniscus. But if we're at 90 degrees of flexion, so again, we're sitting down and we're making that right angle with our legs or feet planted, about 85% of that load is going to be taken on the meniscus. And to be honest, this is why we try to avoid deep flexion, because that puts a lot of strain on the meniscus. As the knee flexes, the meniscus is going to move from the front to back. And thank you for the headpad. Thank you. Wear clean gloves to headpad tip, but no, just play hand sanitizer. I mean, then it's like, oh, it's not dry yet. Pet's hair dries out hair. I go bald. No, but the school could work on sanitation a little bit. Anyway. Thank you for the headband. So thank you. Oh, another headband. Thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. I don't remember. Okay, so I think what this is trying to say is that the thank you. When you flex the knee, the meniscus will go back, but when you extend the knee, the meniscus will go forward. As you can see here, the medial meniscus, I don't know, it says 6 millimeters. Yeah. And the lateral's 12. I may have to go back on the notes for this one. I'm so sorry. Anyway, meniscus function! Alright, so our jelly-filled donut can do 8 fun, wacky things. 1. It can load transmission. So basically, it can help load on our weight, because we're not for anything. We're pretty heavy. Our head alone, or is it the brain? No, I don't think it's the brain. I think our head alone is like 10 pounds. So imagine like the rest of your body. So all that weight going down to your legs. Heck. So what happens is that this is gonna help load the transmission, and what happens is that without the meniscus load, it would be into one location, which would further promote degeneration of wherever that point might be. It might be like directly bone on bone, and it's kind of like, oh no. For the second function, it can increase the joint surface contact area. So again, man, I wish I had that bone model that I can share, but basically having that jelly-filled center allows for more contact area. And again, we talked about the importance of contact area because that is also going to help us with that load transmission. Hi Zach, hi, welcome. I know. Joint nutrition is going to be very important as a meniscus function, and that can be done through loading and unloading. So you know that whole like motion is lotion for the body? Yes, kind of really applies here. So when you load it, like, you know, you put your weight, maybe you're doing a little squat, and then when you unload it, when you stand up straight, or maybe you have your legs kicked up, all that kind of motion is going to help promote and provide nutrition for the meniscus. Function 4, the meniscus can assist with joint gliding. So for the medial side of the meniscus, as we saw earlier, this is going to help with pivoting. So when we pivot ourselves with the foot, and the lateral meniscus is going to be helping with the screw home mechanism, which I think we'll be talking about a little bit later, so I won't get too in depth, but it's just the idea of like stability and locking, I believe. Function number 5. So there could be a chalk block effect, and so this is a silly name, but it's just to demonstrate that this is going to be a triangular wedge, and that's also going to assist in stability and support. They're really trying to emphasize this concept for whatever reason. And they're like, oh, think about like in the airplanes, or like a door stopper and what they put like behind the wheels in the airplane. It's gonna stop it, and it's true. The notes kind of go a little bit more in depth about how I think it avoids like more hyper movement, basically. Like it doesn't go further than it needs to, basically. Function number 6, we have shock absorption. Normally when you think of the meniscus, I always thought it was a primary shock absorber. Apparently that's not it. That's not the case whatsoever. It does help with shock absorption, so when you jump, the load and the weight and everything like that can get distributed pretty evenly, but again, not its primary function. It's actually its weakest role, which I was like shocked. I was like, oh no, all my anatomy knowledge out the window. No! That's okay, it's okay. Function number 7. It's gonna limit hyperextension, so your knee going backwards. Kind of spooky, I know, but that's what it can do. And last but not least, function number 8, it's gonna contribute to proprioception. So again, where you are in space. And this can all be thanked to the movable structures that you have in the knee, which are gonna blend in with the ligaments and capsules to give you a better idea of where you are in that space. So meniscus, I wish we had more pictures, but the meniscus can actually get injured, which is so sad. The meniscus, the mechanism of injury is that normally you're weight bearing and you're rotating. So I don't know. I feel like there's a really popular dance, but I'm not really one for dancing, unfortunately. But part of me is like, it's a stinky leg. And I'm like, I think I just made that up. But any weight bearing and rotation, you might be prone to doing some kind of tear. Some exam findings say you might find effusion or that kind of swelling into the joint. But effusion's not like an immediate symptom. It may take up to 6 to 24 hours to do. Other exam findings, you can have clicking, catching, or locking of the meniscus. And you might have a popping sensation during the injury, like maybe you like fell, or again did that weight bearing and rotation, and you heard a pop, You may have had a previous ACL injury, which definitely does not help. And what happens is that greater rotatory forces are going to be applied to the meniscus, making it more easy to injury. And you may have, what do you call it? Pain with the Thessali? Oh, I never got the name of this correctly, so I'm so sorry. Thessali? Test. And this test is really interesting. Let me see if I can grab it for you cabs really quick. I try to like, let's see. Thessali test. It's actually a little silly. Oh my goodness, this person's music. You're gonna take a quick nap? Oh, Atomic, that sounds so good. I can use a nap too. Enjoy the nap. Please have a good one. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't nap for too long though. It's 5 o'clock in Bearcat Mountain, so you're gonna ruin your sleep schedule. You wake up at 8? Ah, heck. But enjoy. Alright, so this special test, you have the patient. Yeah. You have the patient stand up and you're holding their hand. They're doing like a little dance with you. You see, they're even in a little dance studio themselves. Not really, but you get it. So the knee is going to be flexed at 90 degrees. And what you're going to ask the patient is to rotate. So watch them. They rotate 1. Rotate 2. Oh my goodness. Okay. Rotate 3 times. And the muscle, the leg that they're obviously testing is this one. So they're doing their 3 rotations. And what happens with this one is that if they have pain with that, like they have pain with that weight bearing, then might just have a meniscus tear. You're gonna check for 20 minutes? Okay. Ganbatte! Good luck! Good luck! The silly test? It might as well, right? You know, that nap really does sound good. I'm so sleepy. I'm so tired. I don't want to be awake. But I have this exam and I have to review. And we're only 20 out of 34. So there's still some stuff that we have to do. Hopefully, maybe. Just maybe. Maybe I can get this done by 6? Okay, so 45 minutes more. Let's go ahead and do this. My exam, by the way, is at 7, so there's still plenty of opportunity, you know? Alright, meniscus. So, some signs and symptoms that you may have this. So those are just some exam findings that you'll have if you're like under with a specialist who may examine and be like, oh wow, I'm noticing these things. But the actual signs and symptoms that a patient may experience is that they may have pain in their posterior knee when they start squatting. So that's why it's always super duper important to ask about the location of pain and ask for details about the mechanism of injury. Meniscus is really interesting, and this is like my favorite thing about rehab sometimes, is that there's things that you get called cluster findings. And I think the last time we talked about this was for the shoulder. But so it's been a while since we had our last cluster findings. But cluster findings are basically how they sound. The cluster findings is a whole group that's going to indicate, hey, well, you have this, or actually maybe you don't have this. But this cluster findings is going to indicate that, yeah, maybe you do have a meniscus tear. So we have 5. So symptoms of clicky and locky within the knee, joint length tenderness while palpation. So like if we touch where the meniscus is and that joint line, because remember that patella is not attached to the bone, it's all ligaments, so you kind of squeeze right behind it and you're palpating that area and they're like, ah, that kind of hurts. Okay, positive sign. They have pain with knee wait, why did I type knee twice? Knee max knee flexion? They have pain with max knee flexion, so you try to get that knee. I don't know if this is a passive or active. I guess it doesn't really matter because either way you're putting your meniscus in such an unfortunate position. But how do you say it? If our feet are at 90, it's like trying to kick your own booty. You're trying to bring your heel to your butt. You're getting that maximum knee flexion. They're having pain with that? Positive sign. Maybe they have pain with hyperextension, so you bring their knee a little bit more extended than it should be, and there's some pain with that. Okay, positive sign. then maybe they have a positive McMurray special test. Okay, this one, I don't really know how to explain this one. So McMurray. You have like the patient laying in supine, and you like you do some wacky things. You like rotate their leg. Is this okay? Hold on. I'm video searching, don't mind me. This person did not drape this patient. I hope this video is okay. It's showing a lot of leggy. But this video is also from 15 years ago, so I don't know. Please forgive me for showing too much leggy. Please. Alright, so McMurray's test is interesting because you have the patient laying on their back, and what's gonna happen is that you flex their knee and extend their knee, but you also have to do internal and external rotation with it. So much leggy, it gets worse though, Robo. So much leggy. Anyway, so he's doing a little bit of the rotation. So he brings it up and he rotates it, and I think he's going to bring it out, and then you do it in those two positions. You have to do both external and internal while flexing and extending the knee. So yep. That's all I got. Alright, so that's also going to be a positive cluster finding for how do you say it, meniscus tear. So the really cool thing with cluster findings again as well is that if you have 3 of these symptoms, you are most likely 90% correct with your potential diagnosis. If you have 4, that's about 96% correct. But if the patient has all 5 symptoms, 99%. No way this person has probably they most likely do not have anything else, so there's nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. Da-dang. So yeah. That we won't get into. More meniscus stuff. Okay, so the meniscus or jelly-filled donut, there's definitely an acute version of it, and acute is more we'll explain. And then we have our degenerative meniscus tear. So for our acute, our demographic is most likely going to be younger, active individuals. The mechanism of injury with that is that they're going to be weight-bearing with rotation, and it's secondary to improper movement. So maybe they did a little jig and they're like, ow! Or maybe they're playing some sports because, excuse me, how do you call it? Playing sports, you are very prone to knee injuries. Some symptoms though with acute meniscus tear is that there's going to be pain, clicking, catching, and locking. With degenerative meniscus tears though, this is something, again, it's degenerative. This is going to be more of like a gradual thing that happens much later. And so our demographic for this one is that it's going to be older individuals, and they can be active, but they don't necessarily have to be. Some people are like, is this part of the natural, how do you call it, aging process? The world may never know. Purple, hi, welcome! Hi, Tipa, just came in to say goodnight and don't work too hard? I have to. I have an exam in 2 hours, or like an hour and a half. If I don't work hard, it won't reflect on my grades, and then I'll fail. And then I'll be like, oh no, I'm such a failure of an individual, and then I'll never graduate bearcat school, and then all the hard work I've been doing for all this past few years will mean absolutely nothing, and then I would have to reconsider my whole different career. And I'll be like, well, I don't even know what I want to do for a different career. I've already invested so much money into bearcat school, and then I'll be like, oh no, you can just get a certification. It's much easier and cheaper, and you don't have to spend 2 years. It's just a certification. You can make just as much as someone with a bachelor's, and then it's kind of like, no, but if I would have already done that already. So yeah, I have to work hard. Yeah, right, typical student inner voice. But thank you, I appreciate it. Please have a good night and the sweetest of dreams. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Panic, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to panic. Raise your hand if you're a younger active individual. The student lifestyle has me not as active. Your girl has not looked at my little like step machine in like a month, because last month was so stressful with all the exams. I was like, listen, if I'm not sitting staring at my notes or working, I have no idea. I'm not doing it right. You'll do okay. Thank you. I was gonna try to do a whole nother like skit and be like, but what if I did? What if I'm not? What if I don't? And there's no reason to think negatively ever. Anyway. But thank you, I appreciate it. For degenerative meniscus tears, the mechanism of injury is most likely going to be a prior history of knee injury. And again, as I mentioned, they say that this degenerative process just may be part of the aging process. Some symptoms are going to be pain, pressure, secondary to infusion because of the swelling that's occurring. You may feel this pressure, and they may have clicking, catching, and locking. So, ta-da! Alright, let's talk about ligaments. So this is something that you guys might be a little bit more familiar with, so yay! MCL is medial collateral ligament, and we can find it right... my brain is not working? Medial condyle and medial meniscus. Where is it? Oh, sorry, it's also called tibial collateral ligament. Ta-dang! That's an alternate name, so it's right here. Yeah, okay. And so mechanism of injury for this is that there's a valgus stress with or without rotation. Valgus stress again is going to be stress coming from the outside. So drum roll for MS Paint. So if you're just a cub, right? Like I'm a cub. And you're just chilling, right? And you're just standing here minding your own business. And you have no torso, right? Well, what if I'm not gonna draw myself any. What if I am a crazed lunatic and I decide I also have no torso and I'm all leggy and I decide to kick you? Well, what happened is that I'm kicking you from the lateral side, and what's happening is that this force I'm this is considered a valgus stress, and this valgus stress is going to be coming again from the outside of your body or on the side, and what happens is that this valgus stress is going to be stressing the medial ligament, hence this whole talk that we're having about the medial collateral ligament. And then the same thing goes with how do you call it, LCL, which we'll talk about a little bit later, where we're going to it's a little bit rare, but for whatever reason you have I don't know what you have a Tipanya clone, evil Tipanya, who is green and still crazed and deranged and all leggy and decides to kick you medially or on the inside. That's going to be a varus stress, and that's going to be stressing your LCL. So we'll talk about it a little bit later. But hopefully that gives you a better idea of what I mean by outside, inside. Maybe. Hi, Discoda. Hi. Welcome. Ah, I've been kicked on my lateral side. Ah, the pain, the agony. Alright, a very scientific diagram. Thank you. I thought of putting my works into a research journal. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Ronzo, hi as well. Welcome, YouTube. You're Ronzo, hi. Welcome. Rebel says, Tippa, please, our leggies. What do you mean our leggies? I'm on leggy. What about my leggy? What about the pain that's causing me? No, so that's basically that. So we have a stress coming from the lateral side, and it may happen again with or without rotation. We might be slightly pivoted. What's happening again is that valgus stress is going to stress the MCL, and it might cause it to tear. And so with that, we may end up with swelling and Tanu, hi! Hi! So what do I need to know to be here? All you need is a leggy. And you know what? I don't discriminate if you don't have a leggy. I shouldn't discriminate in the first place. Hi, welcome! And an Ari emote? Let's go! Oh, hold on. Tanu, I saw you streaming earlier, so you saw me sneak in, so I'm gonna give you a shout out really quick. How's your persona? How's life? that I don't think I got the opportunity to tell you. I'm like, man, this person's username looks familiar. And I was like, oh, but they're playing Persona. I'm gonna go. And I saw you on my recommendations, so I was like, oh yeah, let's go. So please forgive me. Forgive me for my dumminess. I'm only one bearcat. It was going really well. We beat the ball guy. Let's go! You're like endgame. Is it your first Persona, or are you just playing a... sorry. Is it your first playthrough Persona 5? Or you're just playing it for the royal content? Out of curiosity. I'm a big fan of Persona. It's your first Persona ever? Oh my goodness! Kaneki, congratulations! I hope that you're having a blast at it then. I think Persona 5 is so fun. And you're getting with the royal content too? Oh my goodness. Let me see, is there any negatives with royal versus direct? No, I think you still get like, I think there's like a slight change with like the normal ending or like one of the endings, because Royal introduces like a different character. But yeah, no, I hope you have an absolute blast. I thought Royal's a nice, very comprehensive and nice addition, similar to how people feel about Persona 4 versus like Persona 4 Golden, you know? The addition really definitely does make it. This is the part where Tippa suggests P3P. Well, Tanu, if you really liked Persona 5 and Royal, and I don't want to Persona you out, my absolute favorite all-time game is Persona 3 Portable. As much as I root for the female route, 100% emoji. 2 years! Cries. As much as I would root for the female route, I really think playing the male route and then going back to playing the female route is definitely something to be worth it. And especially with the Persona 3 remake, I think it'd be a super fun experience. Unfortunately, they won't have the female route available in the remake, which makes my heart break a lot, but it's okay. I highly still recommend Persona 3. But maybe at this point, maybe it's probably best just to work backwards, so you play Persona 4 and then play Persona 3. There's really no serious connection. Like, you could play it in whatever order that you want to, you know? I think there's only like very tiny small Easter eggs. Oh no. I hope you have lots of fun. Welcome on in though. 2 years. Sorry. Panic. Oh, I'm looking. I was being a person. I was like, oh no, let me see. I think you just randomly found me, basically. So I was just like, oh, and then I saw a tweet and I'm like, and tweet too? So cultured. And anyway, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah, so welcome. I'm just teaching about the knee because I have an exam today. And we're going through the MCL and yeah, don't mind me. You don't need to know anything prior to knee. I will always do my best to regurgitate the knowledge to people who have never seen the knee before, kind of. To the best of my abilities, because if I can explain it to others, then maybe I have a pretty decent understanding myself. You've been here a while ago, but I've been lurking. Oh no! Thank you, I appreciate it though. Thank you. I'm honored. I'm flattered. I'm insert positive adjectives here. Well, thank you. Oh my goodness, small world. What a small hacking world. Alright, so MCL! So the mechanism of injury of me kicking you from the outside with or without rotation, swelling may occur, but with swelling it may take a little bit of time, so it may take up to 24 hours. The MCL, the medial collateral ligament, which we can again see right here, also known as the tibiocollateral ligament, very important for restricting valgus load. So again, if it's just too much load and it overpowers it, that's how you're gonna get that tear. External rotation of the tibia. So I'm sorry, cubs. External rotation, think of like your knees going out, or if you're like, oh, can you like man spread? That's like the external rotation of your tibia. Well, anime girl knock knees is internal rotation of the tibia. MCL also can play a part in anterior translation, like, or to restrict anterior translation. If how do you call it? If the ACL is torn, and we'll talk about the ACL, the anterior cruciate ligament, in a little bit, but as you can put the context clues together, the anterior cruciate ligament prevents anterior translation or front translation or front movement. Translation? Time to shill the YouTube. the weebalation. Yeah. But yeah, so if the ACL is torn, we have a backup plan of the MCL, and it's gonna help restrict that. But if they're both torn, I guess they can't really do too much, huh? But this is not the only thing or the only structure that's going to restrict valgus load. We have other structures as well that I will attempt to read, but I will not be able to explain politely. Posterior medial joint capsule, ACL, PCL, and medial quadriceps, or specifically the muscle of the semimembranosus. We'll skip it. I'm so sorry, Cups. We'll just skip it. We'll just say that I said it once at least. So, with that, let's talk about the LCL. This picture is so stupidly complicated. Hold on. Excuse me. The fibular collateral ligament right here is your LCL. So similar to your MCL, which is right over here, but it's on the lateral side. So now let's refer back to this picture. And so this, in reference, this is saying that it's its lateral side, and it's really not as clear of a picture, but I mean, sure. This is also a back view of the leg. I know it's kind of hard to believe. But right here, LCL is similar to MCL, but what happens is that this is most likely going to have a mechanism of injury of lateral force just below the knee. And the foot is planted on the ground. Alright, Cubs, cut this one out because my other notes has otherwise, so I'm a little confused. I think they mean medial force because MCL is going to be valgus forces and LCL should be varus. So we'll just politely skip this slide, okay? Okay. PCL! So posterior cruciate ligament is right back here. Posterior on the posterior side or the back side. Here's our thigh bone or the femur, and then here's our shin bone right here. And then on the back of the thigh bone we have these cool condyles. So posterior cruciate ligament, kind of chunky, but even if it's super chunky, it actually doesn't really get hurt as much. So let's talk about the mechanism of injury. So PCL, a tear can happen because of falling on flexed knee. It can happen because of maybe a dashboard injury of a motor vehicle accident. So maybe someone has their knees really high up and then it gets slammed in because some awful car accident. I hope that never happens to you, Cubs. And just understand that the PCL can be a part of the MCL, the medial cruciate ligament, and the LCL, the lateral cruciate collateral ligament, not cruciate. I apologize. Hi, Everglass. Hi. Welcome. And wait, no, it's okay. Haven't uploaded in a year? That just means that Cubs haven't, what do you call it? If they first time see your channel, then they have a year's worth of content to catch up to, so But, yeah. So the PCL, as you mentioned, is a chunky boy, and it's 2 times bigger than the ACL, which is... Well, we'll figure that out. But the ACL is here. PCL, also as its name indicates, is that it's going to prevent posterior translation of the tibia, so posterior movement. So if for whatever reason, and I wish I could show you because my hands right now, but it just prevents that backwards motion. So what are some signs and symptoms that you have PCL tear? Surprisingly, you won't have a lot of pain. Very minimum to even possibly no pain at all. And guess what? You're gonna have full function of your range of motion. You're not gonna feel limited with flexion or extension or the internal or external rotation. The world is your oyster. It's kind of like how do people determine you're injured? Well, we'll get there. You'll notice that there's a contusion over the anterior tibia. Contusion. I don't remember this word. Injured? A dent? Contusion. A region of injured tissue or skin which blood capillaries have been ruptured. A bruise. Eh? Oh, I guess. A bruise over the anterior tibia? I guess. One of the signs that we could determine if you have a PCL is this thing called posterior sag sign. Or I think it's also known as Godfrey's test, where basically you just elevate the person's legs. It's a little wonky, to be honest, and I don't know if it's worth popping up a video, but basically you have the person lay on their back and you bring their knees up to 90 degrees and you literally stare to see, is one of their legs sagging or lower than the other? And if it is, that means that the PCL might have torn, because again, PCL is going to help with that posterior translation. So if you see a sagging or you see one lower than the other, then that means that that ligament's not doing its job. So, da-dang! Let's move to ACL, anterior cruciate ligament. So this is going to be something more common in females than males. Very common ways to mechanisms of injury is that you can have a direct blow to the knee when the foot is planted. It can be a non-contact twisting injury. Maybe you just twist so much you're just like, my ACL. ACL can frequently tear because of poor acceleration or de-acceleration. And like, how do you call it? You might have like too much translation of that anterior femur, and it doesn't stop the way you want it, basically. And understand that the anterior medial band is going to be taut with flexion, so it's going to be tight with flexion, and the posterior band is going to be taut with extension, which is, we'll just throw that out the window. Don't worry about that right now. Don't worry. Some signs and symptoms that you have ACL or ACL tear is that you may have a fusion present, again swelling within that joint. You may have hemarthrosis, which is bleeding inside the joint, so that's definitely no good whatsoever. Please go see a doctor immediately. It's not like life-threatening, but definitely is going to impede the rate of recovery by a whole lot. Definitely in comparison to the PCL, how do you call it? You're gonna have a lack of range of motion with extension, so you're not able to straighten out that leg. And hydrate. Thank you so much. I had like the small candy in my hand, and I'm like, I'm so thirsty. One moment. Thank you. Thank you! I'm saved! My greediness for trying to finish this by 6. Anyway, thank you! Signs and symptoms of ACL, you may also have rotational instability. You may also hear about patients who say, my knee gave away, because again, with that lack of range of motion extension, you're not going to have that stability to straighten out your legs, so when you, try to stand or something like that, your knee may just simply quote-unquote give away. Another hydrate? My poor bladder. And my water bottle is still so heavy. Okay. Head pat. Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. It's giving me the strength to bring back my heavy water bottle. Water bottle ASMR. The more the merrier? Oh, you're so right. One moment. Sorry, cause I'm like staring at my camera and it's like 10% battery. I'm like, what? Huh? What? Huh? And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it's unplugged. Oh no! So, yay. Crisis averted just because I drink water too. Let's go! Thank you for the hydrate redeem. Thank you for the headbats. I appreciate it. Thank you. We love the self-care in this household. Alright, so knee giving away. Oh, and the instability. Inability to ambulate with meniscal and MCL tear. Huh? Excuse me. Maybe if the tear is just that bad, I guess it involves the meniscus and the MCL? I don't know. I don't know. Atomic though, hey hi! Welcome, 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 welcome! How's the nap? Oh my goodness. You're so brave, so powerful. The 20-minute nap? Has it already been 20 minutes too? BRB crying. But anyway, yeah, some treatment for ACL is that you definitely want to treat the effusion first because that's going to impair a lot of your movement. Then you can do some bracing, and then you can also opt in for surgery. It just really depends on the severity of stuff, you know? So we'll skip it. Let's talk about some weep. Hold on. One moment. Okay, so ITB, iliotibial band friction syndrome. So this is interesting. So we talked about a lot of medial and anterior knee pain, but we haven't talked about a lot of lateral knee pain. So ITB friction syndrome is going to be dealing with lateral knee pain, and what's going to happen is that this person is going to be complaining about pain approximately about 2 centimeters above the joint line. So here's your patella. You can use your fingers to pinch behind it. We're going on the lateral or outer side. And if they complain about pain right above here, especially when the knee is in about 30 degrees of flexion, may be positive for this type of syndrome. Or, you know, honestly, this may be present as like a very deep anterior knee pain, which if you get too caught up with the word anterior, you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely a patellofemoral pain syndrome, when it's not. It's, excuse me, something a little bit much deeper. Pain may radiate towards the proximal tibia, so the pain is lateral, but may radiate all the way down and be like, ow, it hurts right here. And it's like, oh, well, that doesn't really correlate with anything too much. Pain is definitely going to become increasingly severe with continued activity. I don't know if this is going to talk about it. It won't. Okay. But what happens is that you're going to have a lot of pain with flexion and extension. And think about how we walk. It's a lot of flexion and extension of the knee. So especially any activities that you're just walking around, getting that knee going, that's going to increase the pain. You're gonna have tenderness over the lateral epicondyle, so this bump right here of the bone. Gertie's tubercle, which is right here, I think. I'm pretty sure, 60% sure. And the lateral retinaculum is how do you call it? It's here, but it's not pictured here. It's just a bunch of tissue. Oh, okay, and the last thing, we can kind of determine that the ITB friction syndrome is that if you have a positive Noble's compression test, and this test is a little bit wonky too. You can do it in supine or you could do it seated, and basically, again, you're trying to palpate for that lateral epicondyle, so again, squeeze behind the patella or use the patella as a landmark and just work your way lateral until you feel like a bump. And what you're going to do is you're going to apply pressure, and from, let's say in the sitting position, we have the person just with their legs hanging about a 90-degree angle. We want them to straighten it and go into 0 degrees of extension or close to it. They again might have some hyperextension. And if they have pain with that because you're compressing onto that lateral epicondyle, then they have a positive Noble's test, and that's I don't really know the specificity or the sensitivity for it, so I don't know the percentage of how correct it is, but it's a pretty good sign to say, hey, I think you may have something wrong with the ITB. Iliotibial band. So I'm sure you cubs are familiar with arthritis, and then we just draw the word in front of it and we draw the word osteo, so osteoarthritis of the knee. This is just kind of a degenerative breakdown, and what's going to happen is that this can happen in whatever order you want, but all 3 of these things are going to occur eventually if you have someone, or again, forbid anything happens to you, in older age. Get this, so you may have a cartilage breakdown, you may have muscle weakness, and with that you may have in mobility impairments, and then it kind of just, the cartilage keeps breaking down. It's kind of like a never-ending cycle of things just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Imagine your cartilage breaking down, and then your muscles are not working as well, so you're not able to move, and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, all the degenerative changes that are happening at the knee. But that's all they really want us to know. They just want us to know these 3 things, nothing really else about it. So let's talk about nerves. Yay! So we have the saphenous nerve. So this is pretty interesting nerve, to be honest. It is, I think, the biggest sensory nerve that we have in our body, and it's sensory only. So we have nerves that can be sensory, they could be motor, or they could be a little bit of both. But again, biggest sensory nerve that we have in our body, and I wish I could show you a better photo that isn't whatever this is, but it is what it is. So the saphenous nerve is going to provide sensation to the anterior medial aspect of the knee and lower leg. Anterior being the front, medial referring to the middle. So think of basically your inner thigh, is that's what's going to help innervate. And a good chunk of the lower leg is also going to be innervated by this. It's also going to help innervate the knee joint, and it'll talk about, hopefully, maybe not, that it does branch off the femoral nerve, which is something we'll talk about much later when we get to the hip chapter next week, or maybe the week after when I'm cramming for finals. But saphenous nerve has like a tiny branch off. They call the infrapatellar branch. Infra referring to below, patellar referring to the, your kneecap. And then this is just a branch, a sensory branch that's going to provide sensory innervation to the knee joint. Da-dang! Hi Glenn, hi, welcome. How are ya? Alright, we're getting alert. We are, and it's so painful. Alright, the adductors canal, aka the Hunter's canal. So the adductors canal is basically just like a tunnel in our body that's just naturally there. What's going to help form this tunnel is going to be the sartorius muscle. It's our hacky sack muscle. The adductor magnus, and the vastus medialis. Again, I wish I could get you pictures, but especially when we get more into the hip. I gotcha. So the really interesting thing about the saphenous nerve, other than like, oh, it's the biggest nerve and whatnot, is that even though it's sensory only, if you're not able to get any other potential outcome from something else, like, oh, are you sure it's not meniscus, or oh man, are you sure it's not this or that, or plica? Saphenous nerve can also make some medial, it's really weird though, it's not a motor, it can also cause some medial knee pain, and so this is something you need to consider when examining someone. So yeah. Examine all the muscles the patient complains of medial knee pain and primary impairments not identified. So if we're not able, again, like I said, to find it, we will have to examine all these muscles and be like, does this replicate your pain? When we're testing these muscles, and if they say yes, then it might be some type of saphenous nerve involvement. So da-da, da-da, da-da. And for our last slide, da-da, we have the common peroneal nerve. So this is again a nerve that is both motor and sensory. So it's going to be motor because it's going to provide a power to our ankle dorsiflexors, and that's going to be our deep peroneal, because anytime you hear the word common in anatomy for whatever reason, it means that it's going to split off. So our common peroneal is going to split to a deep and a superficial peroneal. So when we talk about ankle dorsiflexors, we're talking about muscles that are going to help us bring our toes up to the sky. So like when we're doing ankle pumps, if you do ankle pumps even while sitting right now, you can feel your muscle or your peroneal muscles contract. The peroneals are also known as the fibularis muscles as well. I have no idea why the names are interchangeable. It's kind of wonky, to be honest, but truly is what it is on this heck hole. But yeah, even when you bring your toes up, you can like, for me, I'm like, oh no, it's clear as day. I feel like the lateral muscles going, and even if you can't feel it for whatever reason, gosh darn it, just put your hands on the side of your calf and bring your toes up, and you'll feel the muscle pop into your fingers. This is also going to help with your ankle everters as well. So you know how we were talking about that pronation, of how we're trying to bring the bottom of the foot away from the midline of the body? That action as well, because pronation and supination is like a triplanar motion. something we talked about slightly in the ankle, but everters are part of that pronation process, and the everting again is bringing the bottom of the foot away from the midline. So that's all I can think of. I don't know how else to word it. But the everters are going to be powered by your superficial peroneals. So ta-da! As for sensation is going to be down the distal lateral leg and the dorsum of the foot. So the top of our foot is referred to the dorsum, and the bottom portion of our foot is referred to as like the plantar surface. Don't ask me why they named these things, I'm so sorry. So here are some common causes of why a common peroneal nerve may be involved, and a lot of the time it could be just from a direct trauma. Maybe there's some kind of fracture, maybe especially there's some fracture on the fibular head, and the fibular head, remember, we have two calf bones. We have the tibia and fibula. Maybe somehow you joint the side and now this nerve is affected, so that can be very unfortunate. Pressure from a cast or brace or boot or anything like that can also be a part of it. And another way this nerve can be involved is some of the tensioning of the nerve due to a lateral ankle sprain. So remember, a lateral ankle sprain is going to be when we point our toes down and we bring the bottom of our foot in. If you do both of those motions, you can feel like a tension on the lateral side. But what happens is that that tensioning will stay because of that sprain, and it's super unfortunate. And again, with these kind of impairments, you maybe lose sensation in maybe one of the branches. It depends again on where that injury is, or you just lose all power and motor innervation to your ankle dorsiflexor, so you notice that they're weaker because they're not getting the proper innervation. So yeah. Surprisingly, these are the only two nerves that they have us learn about for the knee. The hip has a few. So yeah, that's all the content I hopefully need to know for the exam. So thank you. Thank you guys for joining me for a little bit of a study focus stream, because I just wanted to politely regurgitate my notes, but I realized I'm kind of like today. But I think the exam will go well, to be completely honest with you. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm gonna pass it with flying colors. I'm just like, I'll be good. I think I have enough information, thankfully. Yeah. Let's see if we can find someone to raid. I still had people from how do you call it? While I was politely lurking, I still have tabs open, so I was gonna try to see who people rated. Man, this is person who keeps popping up on my feed. I'm like, it's time to raid them. It's time. And you know what? I might do it. I might have to do it. Thanks for the class. No, thank you for joining and listening to me ramble. I promise my streams for this is normally well, maybe I shouldn't say normally. I feel like I am more articulate, but I think my brain is just tired today, so I'm kind of like, if I could get any words out of my mouth, I'm like happy. I have a low standard right now. So I apologize for dragging you guys through my sleepiness. But we're good. This is gonna be the last thing that we do for a while, study stream wise anyway. Or no, that's a well, okay, that's not a lie, but so I'm like staring at my calendar again. This is all I stare at now. Yeah, I think we'll be good. I definitely will have more knowledge by the time of the finals, but I don't know if I will be doing a study stream. I think I might just be doing Pomodoro and just silently studying, because I don't think I'll have like the mental capacity to speak. So I apologize, but yeah, we'll see when we get there. There's still 2 weeks away. Maybe something will change. I'll be like, okay, Cubs, let me teach you about the hip. Yeah, thank you for joining, every Cub. Hope the exam goes well. Thank you. Atomic says good luck. Thank you. Thanks for the stream, Carmen. Thank you also for joining. I appreciate it. As always, I got the Discord link. Ta-dang! So for the Discord link, basically, feel free to join tonight after my exam. We have anime night, and anime night is something that we do, and we narrowed it down to Wednesdays only. And we start at 8:30 p.m. EST, and we're watching the newest episodes of Zom 100. We're watching the newest episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, which I'm super looking forward to. It's a shame of the scheduling for anime night, which can change anytime, of course. But the Jujutsu Kaisen episodes, the new episodes come out literally Thursday. So we're like, oh no, we waited almost like an entire week, and that's like, no, the new episode comes out tomorrow. Just wait, or move anime night. No, it's not worth it. I'm not moving it to Thursday. It's okay. It's already moved from Monday. We're like slowly but surely getting down the week. But please feel free to join for that. If you haven't joined the server, if you do, we do have a roles channel, so you can grab a role for anime night. You're more than welcome to join. Oh, and we're also watching Gundam G Witch from Mercury, so please also feel free to join us with that. We are on the later half of the second season, about to be finished. There's only 5 more episodes left, so if you care for spoilers or have not watched the anime, maybe you may want to skip out when we start playing that. But yeah. Good work today. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck on your exam. Thank you. I will do my very best. Again, with the new policy in mind about like can't average lower than a C, I have like this is the highest grade I've had in any of the courses right now, but I have like an 85, so I'm just like, look Cubs, even if I fail it's gonna be okay, don't worry, okay. I haven't scored less than a C on any of his exams, so I think we're gonna try to keep up the pattern, unless I absolutely jinx myself by saying that, then absolutely, gosh darn it, heck it all the heck. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. With that in mind as well, Twitter. Twitter, I'm very excited to say I have my schedule pinned up, and I normally always have my schedule pinned up there. Tomorrow I will be back. I think I wrote 3. I hope I wrote 3. Oh goodness gracious, let me not lie to you Cubs. Let me double check my schedule. I did! So Cubs, tomorrow on August 3rd at 3 p.m. EST, I am celebrating my 3-year anniversary as a VTuber. Ta-da! Dun 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 dun. And so I wanted to do karaoke. I was like, at first I was like, oh, I don't even know what other songs to sing, but you know, I've been going through this like binge list now, and now I have YouTube music playing like songs I haven't heard in a while, and I'm like, oh, I think that would be fun. Oh, I think this would be cute too, and da 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 da. So please look forward to it. I know one of the Cubs had recommended me like a karaoke website to use. And that might be good for how do you call it? Song requests and whatnot, but I'm not entirely sure. I may actually have to do a little bit of research, but at least I have a few songs that I'm okay with singing. There's one I'm surprised that I never got to sing before. I try to keep the songs it sounds so silly, original, in a sense that I'm like, oh, I try not to repeat songs that I may have sang in previous karaoke, so that's also probably why it's making it slightly harder. But please do look forward to it. Again, 3 p.m. EST, and yeah, I think that's pretty much it from there. What else is new and cool? Socials, the YouTubes, the TikToks, the Twitters. I keep saying about this Yami Gallineer VOD that I uploaded. I forgot today is Wednesday. I don't know what I was saying yesterday. I think I was like, oh yeah, the VOD's gonna be uploaded. I stared at my YouTube and I'm like, huh, why didn't that VOD upload? Maybe because it's not Wednesday, and now it is. So please look forward to that. It'll be your first karaoke. Oh no. Please don't have any standards. Just think of it as just a first. Hold on. Don't have any standards. Just think of it as a forever 17-year-old bearcat who's just like, yep, I remember these song lyrics. Oh my goodness. It's okay, it's just a long mic test. A really good one. Yeah, we need to test all its bases. We gotta make sure it gets the high notes and the low notes and blah 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 blah. So please look forward to it. Tip? Hi Pokefan, hi, welcome! Ashley, hi, so welcome! Head, shoulders, knees, and toes song? I'll take the request. Here's a free one. Alright, hurry cub, it's time to sing the song you know. From head to toe, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Alright, I can't spoil the karaoke. No, I'm just kidding. Is that really how the song just goes? It just goes head, shoulder, knees, and toes? I think there might be other body parts involved, right? Eyes, nose, ears, mouth, nose. Okay, yep, it's all coming back to me. 5-year-old Tippa would be so proud right now. But congratulations on finishing the class! Now you gotta study for your cybersecurity analysis exam now? Good heckin' congratulations! I never got to ask, are you doing the certification through like an undergraduate program, or are you doing like the Google certification? Because I've noticed recently they added cybersecurity and I thought that was like really neat, but I don't really know of anyone's like personal experience with Google certifications. I've just seen it kind of like thrown in. Wait, that song exists in English too? Yeah. And eyes and ears and nose and wait, what? What are the body parts in there again? Yeah, I don't know human anatomy. I have no like right to like pretend to teach you cubs. I think eyes, ears. I think it's mouth and nose though. Yeah, eyes and ears and mouth and nose, head, shoulder, knees, and toes. Okay. But yeah, I don't know if I want to meet my 5-year-old self. I always see like these, and I mean this in the lightest way, like really sappy art of like meeting your younger self. I don't know what I would do. I don't know if I want to meet my younger self. Is that weird? I don't think it's the idea of like I'm scared to meet my younger self. But I guess it could be like, oh, it's gonna be okay, don't worry. Just keep doing what you're doing, and it's gonna be a long while. But you'll be okay, 5-year-old me. Oh my goodness. Hi Salik, hi. Only bearcat anatomy? And the only difference is just these ears. Starts headbanging. Okay, so now it's the TIA is certification? Oh, my bad. My bad. Wait, what's at the tip of huh? You love to? Wait, are you referring to loving to like wanting to meet your younger self? I hesitate meeting my younger self too, to be honest. Yeah, I have no idea. Like, and now I can't even do the reverse. It's not like, oh, well, Tippa, what do you want to meet your older self? I'm like, no, it's fine. It's okay, I'll get there when I get there. I don't know. I guess time travel has never really like affected me. I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like, but wouldn't you want to change the past or future? Oh yeah, young Tippa, invest in Bitcoin. Like I guess that's the only thing I can tell young Tippa. I know you don't have a job yet. Tell Mama Bearcat to give you the holy amount of $5. Don't ask why it's holy, okay? $5 is gonna mean a lot to you one day, okay? And you're gonna get it in cold hard cash. One day one of your friends is gonna give it to you in an ice block, and that's a whole nother story for another situation, young Tippa. But I need you to know, you need to invest in Bitcoin and just sell it immediately. I don't know what the market price is right now and the year 2023 in August, but people are gonna go crazy over it. Treat yourself well. Oh my goodness. I mean, I probably beat my 2-year-old self. I don't think you would want to inflict psychological damage to yourself. You know, there's just a lot of cases of people who experience that, and they're not okay. So I don't think I would purposely want to do that to myself. I'm sure you could talk to a 2-year-old and be like, that's not very nice. Let's use the iMessage. Do they even understand that? I don't know. Do people 2 years of age comprehend language yet? I'm actually horrible like ages with babies. It's like, when is a baby supposed to walk? At 1? At 6 months? Like, where am I? When do they speak? Maybe they do speak when they're 2. I don't know. Yeah, you can talk to a 2-year-old. Very simple messages. The iMessage. I feel sad when you do this. Can we try not doing this? 6 months or 2 years, I think. Oh, I was in the range. It's okay. It's fine. I don't really remember, but my mom said I used to open other people's presents at Christmas time. I was appalled hearing some of the heinous things I did. Tell your mom to stop you. Don't have to beat you. Just have to be like, hey, child of mine, I feel sad when you... Oh my goodness. Okay, Cubs. We're not meeting anyone of the past or the future. We gotta focus on the present, baby. We gotta plan for the future. Our future selves are remembering these moments that we're having right now, being like, what the actual heck? So, let's continue doing our best and to improve it so we both? Oh, no, 2 people. All of us, all of our Cubs. All of the Cubs, yes, English. Have a great future together. So, past me from like 5 minutes ago is like, I'm done with this. Hopefully all this experience for the past 2 hours is going to be super, super helpful for this exam coming up. So, you know, it can be almost as fast as that. So, Tippa casually breaking the 4th wall. I love that from you, though. Anyway, I'm spammy again. Discord, Twitter, socials. My exam is in an hour, so that's why I have to get off like now. I'm gonna go through some flashcards really quick and just hope for the best. I have a raid target in mind. This person I've been wanting to raid for like a while now, and right now they're playing Sticky Business, which is that like sticker game. I think they're super cute VTuber. I really like their design. I just wish I knew how to pronounce their name because my pronunciation is so bad. I want to say their name is Silvo Fortissimo. If they go back into this VOD, I just want to formally apologize if I butchered their name so much. But they're super cute. They have purple hair. I have purple hair. Kind of. If you squint, I have purple hair. Maybe gray. You know, I haven't actually decided if my hair was gray or purple, but that's not the point. Point is, we have some on the raid, so let's go get them. Yeah, thanks for saying good luck. Thank you, Gala. Thank you. And wait, you do have good taste? I haven't, like, this person was also my recommended, and I'm like, I've seen them for like 4 streams, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna raid into them one day. And I've had previous tabs open from previous people I was watching prior to stream, and I still had on during stream while I was politely lurking. And one of the people I was watching knew I actually, raided into them. So now I just thought this is my opportunity. It has to be it. Bye, Riff! Bye! Bye! Thanks for stream. Thank you! Alright, let's go get this raid so I can go eat this little hard candy. You hear this? This tiny little orange hard candy is calling my name. I'm going to eat it. I'm going to go through 100 flashcards and 30 minutes and turn off my brain and then restart it right back up before the exam. You know, that helps the brain run, you know, smoother and faster. Alright, thanks so much for joining. Hopefully I get to see you tomorrow for the 3-year karaoke at 3 p.m. EST stream. If I don't get to see you for the rest of the week, then, or if I don't get to see you, if I do not get to see you tomorrow, then absolutely no hacking problem. Please have a good rest of your week, your weekend. Hopefully I get you next time, okay? Lots of love. Bye! Bye!